So why did we start Sub-Zero? Well, me and Naomi were working we had a small burrito shop and we had extra space. And so we had it walled off. We're going to release it. We realized that we picked a bad location. So it was going to be tough to release the space and it just wasn't going to happen. So we decided, well, let's just build it ourselves and we'll put something in there. And I thought, at the time I was thinking, clothing boutique or something. I didn't know. I had no idea. So I started asking customers what they wanted and what they thought we be good. And so everybody said ice cream. And I said, I don't know anything about ice cream. So I went and started having, I was working another job. And so I was going back and forth between my other job, which was a software job about a mile away, and working the lunch shift, the dinner shift, and then back and forth, back and forth. And so I had one of my employees go do some research. So they said, go talk to the ice cream manufacturers and see what they say. They all said, don't do ice cream if you are in a struggle location. They said, unless it's different enough that people will go out of their way to your brand. They said, because in when it really comes down to it, they're going to eat ice cream where, location, and they're going to go to the brand. And so whether it's Baskin Robbins, Cold Stone, doesn't really matter. The brand will matter. And so I said, all right, don't know anything about ice cream. And so we got to reinvent the wheel. So I was looking at all kinds of things like square scoops, I didn't know. So we defined the product, or we started asking people what they liked about other people's product. So we particularly went after Cold Stone. It's 2003, 2004. And so we said, what do you like about Cold Stone? And people would say, well, it's either really good ice cream or it's entertaining. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what that means. So I had to drill down. I said, okay, if it's really good ice cream, what makes it really good ice cream? And they said, well, they customize it. And I said, all right. And so then I asked the other people whether or what made it entertaining. And everybody said, well, they customize it. And so they must have brand and get to watch them make it. And go, okay, so it's customization. So the only thing I could come up with as a definition of the product was don't freeze it till you order it. So the only way to make it more custom is don't freeze it till you order it. So then I was like, I don't know what that means. So at least I had a definition. Then we had to figure out, like, what is that? How are we going to do that? So I looked at heart transplant machines. I didn't really have any idea. I was researching. So my wife saw an article about nitrogen. My degree's in chemistry, and I was like, that's it. We're going to use liquid nitrogen. 2004, I don't know of any shops that were using liquid nitrogen at all. So I couldn't find any. I said, well, nobody's doing it, so let's give it a shot. And so at that point in time, since nobody had done it, there was nobody to rely on to find out whether the pricing was going to be too high, whether the nitrogen was more expensive than electricity, what the equipment was going to look like, any of that. And so we really started from scratch. And